Hi there, welcome back. Thanks for being here. So, in our last lecture, we have seen how to work with frames in Karate. So, however, the concept is pretty similar as how it is done in Selenium, but Karate has its default method, switch frames, and it is very easy. So, we understood how to navigate to a frame using locator and using index also. So, in this lecture, I have something interesting for you, which is wildcard locators and followed by friendly locators. So we all know that what is the importance of locator in any web UI automation. Say for example, if you take Selenium, so Selenium supports a few locators such as ID, name, class, XPath, CSS selector, and tag name and text. So these are the elements with which we can find a HTML web element, and we can pass that to the script so that our script interacts with our driver object, hits that element, and it performs the required operation. So in a similar fashion, Karate also supports some of the locators. So Karate mainly works with XPath and CSS selector. You cannot basically write direct ID and name, but still it is fact that the XPath and CSS selectors are constructed using any one of these attributes. Say for example, if I wanted to write an attribute based XPath, I should rely on either ID or name or some other attribute which it comprises of. On the other hand, it also supports CSS selector, but you cannot just pass in the ID value or name or class just like that, because that is how it is documented. But still it is not a limitation at all, given the facilitation that we have wildcard locators and friendly locators to work with. Yeah, so let's see what they are and how to work with them. So I hope that you all know like what a locator is really mean. So if you take any web page, it is basically constructed of a HTML code, and on top of it they add some sort of styling using CSS and then JavaScript just to add a behavior. So each and every HTML element, so every web element, so will have certain attributes. If you actually look at the document object model, origin model DOM, so you can see the HTML code for any web page. You can also look into the page source. So we construct the locator. So if you wanted to meet an element using its ID value, you just grab the ID value, and if you wanted to interact with the name, you grab the name value, and if you wanted to make it more precise, so you end up writing an XPath using an attribute or a text base for that matter. So that is how you can identify element very accurately. So having XPath and CSS supported by Karate, so Karate has couple more interesting things for us, which are wildcard locators and friendly locators. Yeah, so if I just show you very quickly in the documentation part, so these are the wildcard locators. So I have some small presentation done for you guys, so let's discuss that as well. Yeah, so we understood that these are the supported types by Karate. So I have just given a sample example of how an XPath can be constructed and how CSS selector can be constructed. So above is the syntax and below is the it is a really construct element using that particular syntax. So / input is the tag name, and @ID is my attribute, and 6-1 is the value for that attribute. And for the similar fashion, for CSS selector, you don't really have to pass in the / because you are not actually traversing through the path, and attribute value. So coming to the continued locators, so wildcard locators. What are wildcard locators? So we know that in any web page we will have some elements which has visible text present for it. So this can be observed in often cases with any drop down list or any hyperlinks that are present in the web page, because we know that the h reference, the URL is masked with a value. So I mean, instead of displaying the general URL on the web page, it is good to have some understandable user friendly name, so that people will have an idea of what can happen when they click on that link. So ideally, so every hyperlink which is enclosed in an anchor tag is expected to have a text as a mandatory value. So what not, so there can be every field will have a text also. Say for example, if you have uh, a form to be filled where your first name, last name, and your designation, so even the form, every field on its left you have some text present too. So you can also identify elements by using a text, because you can very well write text based XPath. Okay, and in XPath we have functions too. If you wanted to do an exact match, you use equals operator. If you wanted to do a partial match, you do contains operator, and you do starts with and ends with also. So this is what exactly the wildcard locators also does. So when you are actually locating an element using its text, so how to deal with it? So how do you match it with the exact text that is there on the DOM, and how do you partially match it, and how do you locate in which tag it presents? So all answers, all ways is given in this particular wildcard locator type. So it basically starts with the curly braces. So and the curly braces inside which you can pass the tag value and also the index. And if at all you have a cap symbol, so that is basically means a partial match. You can just say it is starting value or contains, so it is a kind of contains. Yeah, so let's see how this can be constructed. So here are set of examples. So if you wanted to exact match it, these are the three things that you can do it. So passing of a tag name is absolutely optional. So even without a tag name you can still be able to find that element, but as long as the text should be correct. Yeah, but mentioning the tag is always good, because you are actually precisely giving the element relative position, not exactly the position. You are exactly telling which element it is. So I mean, if I were to tell an example, say for example, if somebody asks me where I am from, if I say I am from India, so the scope of my search is whole within the country. But if I say I am from some other state, so what happens, the scope gets reduced. If I say if I am from some other district, what happens, the scope is even more reduced. So in a similar way, if you wanted to help your Karate script, hey, this is my text, and this text is likely enclosed in anchor tag, so that it can precisely go and have a check. So the chance of getting failed is relatively less when you mention tag name or when you do not mention. Yeah, so and as I said, it is optional. In the second example we did not give, but still we were able to find it. And the third thing is that say for example, if there are multiple occurrences of the same element, and you wanted to click on some other index, so what do we do basically? So we write XPath and we just pass a collection based one, so we just pass the index one. So in a similar fashion, you can also pass the index after colon operator, and you can just specify that. So these are the three different things how you can go for an exact match of a text. Yeah, so let's see how do we do a partial text match. So it is just that simple, that if you use a cap symbol in the curly braces, it means that it is a partial match. So if you can see, the click me is not there, so still we are able to find that. And I can also pass this tag name. So where in the second example I am basically telling that span is the tag name, and ideally the entire text could be click me, but I'm just telling that as long as you can find click, yeah, just go ahead and click. So I'm really not bothered about what is present right after click. So that is how you do it. And I also told you that the collection based, like if you wanted to click on fourth index, but this time you are not really sure of which tag it is. So in the previous example, I have asked it to click on the second div tag, but in this thing I'm not even very specific about which tag it is. Just fourth index, if the text matches me or if contains me, just go and click it. So this is how you do it, partial match. But I strongly recommend, like, these locators is just using of these locators is again a debatable, right? So you can write a fair XPath, because XPath is something that you are coming from a XML path. So you basically identify using a relative, right, starting from the current node. So it is pretty standard, and the chance of failure is very less. That is how you end up avoiding flakiness to your scripts. But but if there is no other go, but if you feel that using of this is only the go, then you can go ahead and do, but it is completely of choice. But I would say having this knowledge is always useful, and it is essential to as far as karate framework is concerned. Yeah. And next thing is friendly locators. So why do we have friendly locators? So previously we have learnt wildcard locators, but wildcard locators are basically to identify a web element that has visible text present in it. Yeah. So that can be used against elements which have kind of links or some checkboxes. But what happens when you wanted to key in some value? Okay, let me give you one best example. In a form you have first name last name fields. So we know that first name colon and there would be a text box. Yeah. So the first name label might have a text in that particular tag, but you may not have the text present for the box, input box. So in that case, how do you navigate it? Say for example, I wanted to ensure that I am passing the keys for the first name tag. How do you ensure that? So you need to write XPath, you need to identify the first name element. From there you need to just travel to the text box function. In a similar fashion, if you wanted to go one element above, or if you wanted to go one element below, and if you wanted to identify nearby element, or if you wanted to identify element which is left off or which is right off. So all these functions are given in this particular karate framework. I think these locators are also present in Selenium 4. So you can actually identify one element with the help of referencing another element. So that this is a basically a move based on its relative position. Yeah. So these are some of the functions which we would be seeing as far as this learning is concerned. So right off, left off, above, below, it is very self-explanatory. It can find the right element when you use right off operator. It can use left function, left element, it can when you do right left operation, and above, below, near are the same. And if you ask me how this particular search happens, they have taken the midpoint of a HTML DOM as a origin point, and from there they travel. Okay, it is not that when you are using these functions the search happens right from the top and it comes to the bottom. No, it is not the case. They start at the middle of the web page and then they start considering to look at the elements. So it is very essential to understand the structure of the DOM before you deploy a specific function. So otherwise you end up running into a lot of problems. I mean, you end up not finding an element. So if I were to show you a quick example, so in this particular input tag we have an attribute called type, and the value of it is checkbox, and within the input tag we also have a span tag. So that span tag has a text. So with the help of left off function, what happens is that first I am just identifying the check3 because I am just coming here, and then I am just chaining this operation to dot click, so that what happens, the checkbox would be clicked. And one more thing I must mention here, that when you are using these functions you need to chain this operation to any further operation. Say for example, I have identified the element, so what is my next operation? I can either do click or I can do a send keys or whatsoever it is. So ideally if you do not chain, I mean the tag that it looks for is input. Okay, say for the reason that that it can still be able to click even though you do not chain it with the find tag, find function, because by default it goes and checks for the input. So if at all your requirement is to go and meet some other element, it is very needed to mention that particular tag name. Okay, I'll just show you like how to chain that and how to do that in some moments, but have this understanding that we have these functions. Yeah. So let's get into the IDE to see how we can implement these things. So let me quickly just create a feature file, and then take one site and just explain the wildcard locators. So I would name this as wildcard locators dot features. Let me give finish. So let me write a feature. So I think there is some problem with extension, so maybe let me rename this feature. Yeah, okay. Okay, so let me just delete and create it again. So I have just given the wrong extension, due to which it cannot identify the BDD syntax. Yeah, I wanted to delete, and let me just go ahead and create another file. Wildcard locators dot feature. Let me write feature to demonstrate the wildcard locators, and scenario to click on different tabs. Okay, so different tabs using wildcard locators. Yeah, just putting it, and we all know that we need to first configure the driver. Given configure driver equals to, we need to specify the type of it, so let us do Chrome driver this time. Yeah, so we have done, and then driver, let us just specify what URL we are just giving. So I am going to take this as a sample example. Just one moment. So yeah, I'm going to just take this as my sample example. This is the site that I would be taking, and let me also just add a single quote here, since this is a value. Yeah, and then after navigating to this, let me maximize the window. Yeah, and then I would like to click on a particular element. So let me just inspect an element. So right now it is on register tab, but I wanted to click on web table. Let's see how that can be done using wildcard locator. So let me identify this thing. So it is in a tag, so I can just very well do that. I know that. So the wildcard locators basically start with the curly braces, and this is the text present, and it is enclosed in a tag. And let me just add a delay of at least 2 seconds, so that we can understand that this particular thing got clicked, otherwise the browser would get closed in real quick. So it launched the browser, routing to the application, and you can also see that it got clicked on web table. Yeah, so let me just run it again, because it just happened very quickly. It is in register page, by default is routing to, and then it is now in web table. Yeah, so and now and now what we would like to do is that I don't want to specify the tag name and see whether this will still work. And let me add a delay of at least 2 more seconds here, so that we know what is happening exactly. So now in this time, the change I have done is I've just removed the tag name. Still it should be able to find the web table, and it should click there. Yeah, you see that. So the web table got clicked, and now what we can do is that we can also specify the immediate parent. If you look into the DOM, the parent of this particular anchor tag is li. Okay, so what I would do, so I would just say li/a and web table. So this is also one of the way that you can pass in for the wildcard locator. So you can pass in the immediate parent, and then you can basically click that. now it should click on web table. Yeah, so it is loading. Yeah, so we have learned 3 different ways. I think let me also have those lines and comment so that you will have it for your reference. So this is the first thing that we have tried. Let me just comment it since we have already seen it. And second thing is this one. So we haven't mentioned any particular tag name, so we will still be able to find it. And I will also say that this is exact text match. Yeah, and now now I'll just go for a partial text match. So partial text match. So now what I do is that, and I click and open and curly braces, and this time I need not pass the entire web table, so I just provide the half of it. Yeah, but it is very mandatory that I should pass in the cap parameter, otherwise I will not be able to click this function. Okay, so let me just run it again. So one time you can pass in the tag value, the other time you can basically skip that, and also you can specify the parent tag and slash the current tag. So that is the other thing you can do as well. So yeah, we have landed onto the web table page, and now what I can do, just I can say that this is an anchor tag. So maybe let me just copy in another line. So this is kind of specifying the tag as well, and after that let us also see how to click based on an index. Like I would like to click on so and so index and see how that works. Yeah, so it is still able to click that. Yeah, so now what I would like to do, I wanted to click on particular index, say 4th index. I mean a is my tag name, and 4th is the index of it. Yeah, so let's see how this works basically. Yeah, so I think I'll have to pass in this value. Yeah, let me just erase one quote. So what I'm asking is that whatever the hyperlink that is present in the 4th index, just go ahead and click. So that's what my requirement here is. So it should go ahead and click. So this can be used if you are really sure of a particular element, what index it is coming to be. Otherwise you end up seeing something strange. I mean you will never meet the required thing that you're looking for. So after clicking on the web table, so it randomly picks a hyperlink that is there on the 4th index. Okay, so if you just actually come to this web page, you have 4 buttons. I mean you have Facebook buttons and Twitter buttons and all. So just let me see if what is there, a of 4. So you see it is actually navigating to some Google practice form. So it is clicking there. So that is the reason you have basically navigated to some other URL. Okay, so this is how you click on some other link using the index. Yeah, so this is all about wildcard locators. Let's just quickly look into the friendly locators. Okay, so for that in order not to confuse, I'll just create a separate file. So I would just say that as friendly locators. Let me just correct the spelling. Friendly locators dot feature. Yeah, so I would just copy some of the content from here because I don't want to write all again. So instead of wildcard, this time let me make it friendly. Yeah, so I think I'm just going to show some other site this time, because this has more actions to do with us than register. So let me just also change the URL for this particular friendly locators demonstration. So now what are the functions that we should be working with? So let me take notepad. So we have left of function, we have right of function, we have near, we have above, we have below. So these are the 5 different functions which we would be looking at, and let's see how to use each one of them. Yeah, so in this particular practice form, I already mentioned that the friendly locators are the way to travel to another element based on the reference element. Okay, so let me use right of function for instance. So I know that first name is the label which is present in a strong tag. So let me identify this element, and I'll consider this element as the reference, and then I would navigate to this particular text box and send my keys. So let me see how do I do that. So after adding the delay, I will use right of function, and this right of function, what it would do, so I'm just identifying this particular element, and I'm chaining this with find. Find is another method, and what particular tag I'm looking for. Yeah, so it is okay, you have given first name as a reference element, and you are asking me to go and find an element which is present right towards it. But can you also help me with the tag name, which tag I should be looking for? So I'm helping my script that, hey, it is going to be input, and then I would just say input is the function we already know. I'll say that I'll send keys. Okay, so if what happens, this is how you chain. So the function will help you to chain the process. So in this particular case, what is happening in the sense, you are helping the script to find the element that is enclosed in a certain tag. If at all you do not if at all you do not give this, it still works, because every function will be automatically chained with the input tag. So if you do not specify any tag with the help of find function, it goes and picks input. That is the reason that I was mentioning while explaining in the presentation, that if at all your requirement is something else other than the input, please do not forget to chain that with the find method and pass in the respective tag name. Okay, so let me just run this very quickly and show you guys how this works. Let me put a delay of a couple of seconds to show you that this has really worked. So let me just right click and run as Cucumber feature file. It came here, and it should maximize and then enter keys in the first name box. You can see that the keys have been entered, but this time what we have done, instead of, usually we just write XPath directly for the text box and we send keys, we do input. That is how we have learned in our previous lectures. But thanks to the friendly locators, that when you have a visible text present and you wanted to navigate to some other element by considering this element as a reference, you can use this particular function. So in a similar fashion, I can also use left of function. Okay, so say for example, I wanted to click on any of this radio button. Okay, say for example, I have 7 here. Okay, I have a label 7 here, and I wanted to click on this particular radio button. Okay, so let me use left of function. So what I would do, and left of is my function. So this time I would say it is present in the label and 7 is the value, dot click. Okay, so this time it should click the radio button. Okay, so again I need not chain, because the label will go ahead and find the element which is present left towards it, and I told you that if at all I don't chain this operation, by default it would be an input one. So that is the reason, since it is also an input one, I'm not really considering this as a risk. So let me just run it. It should still work whether or not I chain it or don't. But if at all my need is something else, like if at all my element that is present in the left is something other than input, then I must consider writing chaining that to a particular tag name. Okay, so now it should do two operations. One is to enter the keys and another one is to click the radio button as 7. Okay, so this is how you do it. So let me use above function. Okay, so there is a function called above. So what I would do in the sense, I would just send keys into this particular text box, by identifying some one of the element in the below. Okay, so say for instance, I would just identify this O long T. Okay, so I would find this element and then I would just send keys to that particular field, which is date if stopped. Okay, so above, and then let me just pass in the label value, Control Z. Okay, and then this time I'll just chain this to an input tag using find method, and input is the method and I wanted to send keys. Okay, so I will say that 0606 953. Okay, say for example some date I'm passing, for instance. Okay, so since again it is also input tag, so find is optional here, but I wanted to demonstrate that keeping and not keeping does not make any difference as long as the tag that you're looking for is an input one. So let me keep it this time. So it should just click. Oh god, let me just see, there is some problem has occurred. So above O long T, find input, unable to find the label O long T. I think there is some problem with this particular locator. So let me just go ahead and check what is the problem here, or let me pick any other element for that matter. So I would say red T, and then again send keys. Yeah, so you see this has worked. I mean, there is some problem in mentioning the text of it, so even that should work for you. So the learning here is, even if you chain or don't chain, it doesn't make sense, but this is only the case when the tag that you are looking for is input one. So if at all it is something else, please ensure that you just put it. So now let me just use near function. So near function is always good practice to go for, because as I told you, the search operation, it considers the mid of the web page as a root and then it might go above and up. So we might not know the structure exactly, and that is the reason if you just go give near, so it can always find. Yeah, so what I would do, so this time I would just pass in this particular last name, and then with this help of last name I would basically pass in the values. With the help of last name, I just do a input of something as keys. Yeah, so what happens is, this sense it will just go ahead and do it again on the first name box, if you actually look into it. think my internet connection seems to be so sluggish. It is just loading way too long. Please bear with it. Yeah, I think timeout exception has occurred. So let me just run it again. Hopefully this time it should work. If you see, with the help of last name, we have found a nearby element. Okay, so and let us also see below function, how that works, and below is the another function. So wherein I would just go below with the same last name and I'll click it. So what will ideally happen is that it will just click on one of the radio button that is present below. Okay, so click is a function that I would like to give here. So I think it should ideally click one of the radio buttons that is present. Yeah, but these functions again, I mean, we are not really sure like how far we can use them. I always recommend that just write a standard XPath for a respective element, then go for it. And there would be cases where you will not have a proper HTML attributes to catch an element, so that time this navigation is recommended. So other than that, more often than not, so we end up writing scripts, we end up writing standard XPaths for a respective element. Let me rerun again. So same timeout exception has occurred due to slow internet connection. So this time hopefully it should work. And it is again taking way too long, so I don't think we'll be able to through this time. So let me just rerun again. So just one time if it works, so we can end up having this by looking at all the examples. So you can also see that the years have been clicked as 2 because we have been asked to click the below element which is present on the last name. Okay, so this is all about friendly locators. We have 5 functions, and I have just demonstrated how to use each function and how the behavior of each function, and also we have discussed wildcard locators. So these are the locators which are going to be present in Selenium 4 as well, but still it's good that we have learned in Karate itself. So I hope this is completely a new and completely a great demonstration for all of you. Even I am so excited doing this particular session for you. So please do encourage me, please do subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends, as it is very much needed. You guys have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much, guys.